just get started by chatting a bit about what I was thinking of for today, a practice, and the sort of concept and framework that goes along with the practice. And then we'll do a practice, wrap things up in the last few minutes, and call it a day. Um, Something that's been on my mind as I've approached this session with you all and mirroring other aspects of my life right now too is the challenges that can come with transitions and change, and how we can build our capacity to manage transition and change. I know that in one of the recent sessions, I had introduced this concept and practice of just building space, having more space around whatever is happening, similar to how the open, spacious sky remains the sky no matter what weather is passing through. So this is one tool we've worked with. And the one that I want to shift into today that some of you may have been familiarized by if you've worked with me for a while now is gratitude. Gratitude being, for me, the way I teach it and introduce it, the felt sensation and knowing and experience of the fullness and the goodness of life and a situation and whatever is happening. And when I do teach gratitude, you'll notice in the practice, I probably won't even say the word at all, even though I think about it as a gratitude practice, because I want to start to transition out of the concept or idea of gratitude or being grateful for something and drop into the experiential knowing of the fullness of this moment and the goodness, the safety, the sense of presence of this moment, however we can each access it in our unique individual ways. I think when we feel it more than talk about it, that's what creates more sort of internal resourcing for continuing to move through whatever we're moving through in life. And of course, another piece of this is having gratitude for or having a felt sense of goodness around what has happened and is coming to completion and that no longer will be. So I'm talking about, in this case, like essentially like the death, the going away of this series, right? That might seem kind of extreme, but it's the closing, it's the ending of this particular series together. It could be another sort of life transition or change for you. Maybe you can think of a time when you went on a vacation or a retreat or just had a really wonderful experience with someone or something. And then it comes to an end, it comes to a close, and there can be some sadness and grief around that. Maybe even having a really sweet meditation practice, like a particular practice or experience of expansion or really understanding something at a very deep level, and then kind of going on to the other daily tasks, and that felt sense kind of dissipates or goes away, or we're not in that state anymore. And this can be a transition too that's challenging to deal with. For that particular one, a teacher in India once gave advice to the group of folks I was sitting with in satsang. The way to manage that sort of a loss of a state, a meditative state, or a state of love or compassion or sense of presence or awareness, is to just have gratitude for it, to be grateful that it happened. And this is the antidote to the grasping of like, I want it back, or I've lost something. No, actually, you have gained something. You've gained access to something within you. What would it be like to just be so, so grateful for that? So these are some of my thoughts on gratitude right now. And as always, I'm not trying to push or encourage a sort of toxic positivity or like fake it till you make it. That's why I thought we could start so small in the micro moments of sensation that feels good, of of a sense of rest in this session together, hopefully. And through those moments of acknowledging what's already there, maybe that can lead to the acknowledgement of bigger moments that have already taken place, or things in your life that are there that bring a sense of goodness. And this in turn opens us up to a felt sense of gratitude. Good. All right, well, let's get started. I do have my tingsha today, so we'll start and end with a bell, and I'll invite you all to take the next few moments to find a posture, find a shape for your body that feels supportive and very present, where you feel a sense of sovereignty or agency, but also can feel relaxed. So maybe just allow the sound of the bell and the silence that follows to welcome you into that space. And so finding a shape for your body that feels supportive, that feels rooted into the earth, and yet perhaps has a sense of lightness and openness about it. It takes listening, first and foremost, listening to our body, listening to this present moment. Understanding what we need and centering that need. Is it for more support? Is it for even a micro shift of a limb or some aspect of your being to center your comfort, to center your sturdiness, to center your presence? Allowing the eyelids to soften closed if that feels good for you. Otherwise, just allowing a soft gaze to rest somewhere in front of you. Softening any spaces in your physical body that don't require contraction or activation in this moment. Oftentimes that shows up in the head and neck, a subtle leaning forward of your torso. Go ahead and see if you can soften those spaces. Inviting softness to your jaw, to your teeth, your cheekbones, your eyes and eye sockets, and that space between your eyebrows. Allowing those spaces of tension, if they're there, to just sort of melt, almost like snow melts in the bright spring sunshine. Allowing your heart space to melt open as well. The shoulder blades gently dropping back and down your spine like ripe pieces of fruit hanging from a tree. And finally, allowing the belly to soften. When we soften that space, we open up more of that energetic connection between ourselves and the earth, the supports beneath us. softening in service of our connection with the earth, the grounding, the stability. And from this space of presence, I'll invite you to notice what is feeling kind of good or pleasant about this moment. And starting with sensation, do you feel a sense of comfort in your physical body? Maybe it's the support of the surface beneath you or behind you, providing a space to rest, to ground, to soften. You don't have to create an experience. You don't have to manufacture anything that I'm inviting. It's really just softening into it, opening yourself up to notice simply what feels good, or at least what's not feeling bad. Like, oh, I actually feel pretty comfortable physically. This is kind of comfortable to sit or lay like this. And if it's not, shift it. Are there spaces of warmth or coolness that feel good? Maybe noticing the warmth of your palms if they're resting on the tops of your legs. Noticing how comfortable it is for there to be a coolness where the skin of your face or your skull meets the space around you. As we turn more inward, noticing the sensation of your breathing, or even the rhythm of your breath. The pleasantness or comfort of that rise and fall of your inhale and your exhale. You're welcome to focus on any of the things I've mentioned so far. It's okay if one doesn't resonate or one does more than the other. How wonderful to be a breathing human body. To just be able to be here right now. in all the complexity and simplicity. So many factors, so many causes and conditions have contributed to you being right here, right now, in this moment. And as you rest here, being in your breathing body, your being as a whole, maybe you can bring to mind someone who would be really delighted, happy, maybe proud to see you here right now, to see you, to know that you're taking this time, perhaps to rest in your body and mind, to contribute to your happiness or that of others, to be practicing meditation. Whether it took much effort or little effort to come, who would be really proud to see you here right now? It could be a person in your life, could even be some aspect of your past or future self. You don't have to go too deeply into the story of who it is. Whoever or whatever wants to come forward in your awareness, I would feel proud of seeing you here right now. Just kind of letting that come in, come through. Maybe noticing the sensation of your heart softening or becoming tender at the thought of these people or this person or these aspects of yourself. Could even just be yourself, feeling the sense of being proud, happy to see you here. Letting yourself be seen, acknowledged, delighted in by these other people or person or aspects of self. Noticing how that feels in your body, in your heart. So much fullness, so much recognition, so much goodness in this moment. And you're welcome to continue for the next few minutes, just as you are. Perhaps Yeah, delighting in the delight of those people or beings that are just seeing you and feeling so proud of you, happy for you in this moment in your practice. Just feeling what that is, that goodness inside, that felt sense of fullness. Permission to totally bask in that warmth, bask in that fullness. And if you're feeling that sense of fullness, you also have the choice if you'd like to just kind of let that sense of fullness in your heart or joy or sense of recognition just take you to other spaces and places in your world or in your life that also feel really good, that give you a sense of fullness. Whether it's a place in nature that you experienced recently or that you go to, the small ritual of your morning coffee, or even in some ways, the challenges and sort of colorfulness of your life that have taught you so much or pushed you to experience different depths or aspects of yourself. Whatever is coming in, these are just examples. Allowing that felt sense of inner fullness and goodness that you might be experiencing right now to just guide the way as opposed to the thinking mind. Just see what that feels like to be guided by that felt sense of fullness, of goodness. Almost considering this principle of like attracts like. And so when we tune more deeply into that feeling of fullness and goodness, it can sometimes just kind of remind us of what else feels like that in life that we don't often notice. Maybe it's too mundane, or maybe on the surface it brings strife or challenges. We'll take just another minute to allow the exploration of this, being guided by that inner felt sense of goodness, of fullness, of being really engaged in your life and witnessed in that. And we'll just start gently, slowly to prepare to bring this practice to a close, but we'll take our time, giving ourselves some spaciousness to do it, gentleness as we do it. And so if you've been kind of letting your mind wander to places, spaces, people, rituals, and such that give you that sense of fullness of experiencing your life, just slowly letting your attention kind of come back to your physical body, your inner felt sensation of presence, fullness. If you were still kind of relating with people who would see you and be proud, just lovingly letting them go back from where they came. But in either case, yeah, just let yourself continue to rest in the felt sensation that's here and now. Maybe there's a bit more ease, a bit more grounding. Taking a moment to notice any shifts in how you felt from the beginning of our session to now. How are you feeling now in this moment? Noticing the shape of your body once again, the support of the surface beneath you, maybe behind you. Letting yourself move and shift a bit, getting back into the physicality of your beautiful body. And then perhaps sealing your practice with a word to name what you felt in this session or what you're feeling now. What word might encapsulate your felt experience? And for some, it doesn't have to be, but it quite possibly could even be gratitude. So no need to speak if you're still in that space. I know it can take some time to transition, but yeah, just want to name what I did there is we went into like what's actually tangibly, palpably feeling okay right now through sensation. How can I access deeper levels of it, that sense of feeling good or fullness through being seen in it by bringing in people or parts of myself that would feel proud of me in this moment? That kind of opens things up. And then finally, just allowing the felt sensation to remind our minds of what else is good right now.